Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and today, tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are getting into the bourbons that had the most impact on my bourbon journey. But before we get into that, please do me that favor, like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us out a ton, and we seriously appreciate the support. But let's get in today's video. So before we get this video kicked off, let's set a baseline. So my baseline before I got heavy into whiskey and I created this collection and whatnot, I drank a lot of bullet bourbon, just a normal 90 proof orange label bullet bourbon. That was my go-to. I had like 3 handles I bought from Costco at one point. Like, that was my freaking jam. And then I started drinking whiskey neat, and then from there, I got really into bourbon, started this YouTube channel, so on and so forth. So let's get right into it, starting off with not the first bourbon that I bought from Bullet, but the first, we'll call it premium bourbon I bought, and what I learned from this. So first premium bourbon I bought, Old Forester 1910, fantastic double oaked Old Forester. The reason I got this was, I graduated up to the Old Forester 100 proof, that screw top. I kind of like that. So I was like, what's a more premium version of that? So this was the first bourbon I spent like $45-50 on. And I was like, man, that's a lot of money to be spending on a whiskey. But holy heck, I learned I like double oaked products. There's something just fantastic and sweet about it. There's toasty, it's very oaked. And I also learned that it's okay to spend money on bourbon, because at that point, especially $50, man, you could almost certainly get some fantastic whiskey on that. So that was the catalyst of this. That was kind of the one where it's like, oh, maybe I should buy something more expensive than just like some budget bottle. And, we kind of took that idea and ran with it a bit. Next lesson I learned involved proof. And this was very, very shortly after that one, Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Because, after you find out you like Old Forester 1910, you haven't gotten into proof too much, but you like Wild Turkey 101. What's a step up? Rare Breed. And Rare Breed is absolutely incredible. It's sweet cherry pies, nutty, cinnamon. Absolutely love this stuff. That Wild Turkey flavor profile is my absolute jam. And this bottle taught me I dig proof. Proof is a wonderful thing in the whiskey industry. They are on that lower side of proof, that 116.8 proof, usually around the 116, 115s. Absolutely incredible. And with that extra proof comes more flavor. So this is when I really learned I really, really like higher proof stuff. And I did kind of go off the deep end from there, but it was an absolute incredible journey learning I loved proof, because that opened me up to so many different things. When I got used to that bottle, I was buying all sorts of things, like Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof 1920 after that 1910. Like, I just started buying high proof bottles, and to this day, I still drink relatively high proof whiskey. And sticking with the theme of cash strength bourbons, my first, I'll call ultra premium, or at the moment again, felt ultra premium. The most expensive bottle I bought, and also the one that had the most going on in it. Elijah Craig C920. One of the best bottles that came out of, 2020. And this was when I was like getting kind of heavy into whiskey hunting and trying to find specific bottles. This blew my mind. Love the proof. Absolutely love the proof. But not only with that, this is the first age stated bourbon I bought, or at least like noticeable age statement. Like, I probably had some like 6-year-old, so on and so forth, but this is the first ultra aged bourbon. And 12 years may not be considered ultra aged. That being said, at the time I was like, man, that is old, it's dark, and I love those flavor profiles. Like, holy crap, This stuff is absolutely great. Absolutely fantastic. And again, I know there's some problems with Elijah Craig nowadays in the news, making me kind of sad, making me a little upset and scared. But this was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. C920, one of the higher ones I have, 132.8 proof. Absolutely love that. That is like, honestly, even to this day, kind of like one of my cherished unicorns. I have another ECBP from that same year that I really like, kind of on par with that one. And that one sits on my top shelf. But man, those Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs are fantastic and still some of the best high-aged whiskey I ever had. And I started myself off with an absolutely hitter in that. And with learning I like ultra-aged stuff, my first unicorn, my absolutely first unicorn that I spent the most money I've ever spent on whiskey and probably ever will, because right now I draw the line at like $100 just because I'm not balling anymore. I'm not crazy into hunting like I used to be. And that one is Wild Turkey Master's Keep 17 year. You guys knew it. You guys knew it. I don't have that many unicorns, and this was one of those unicorns. I took it and ran with it because after I learned I really liked the Elijah Craig, I was like, man, I like age. Let's look into like what are some other fantastic aged bourbons. And at the time, this one just came out, and I was into hunting, so I found one of the last few ones on the shelf. Spent like $215 on it, which now to me that seems a little bit high. That being said, at the moment, you know, I was willing to do it. And that is the bottle that taught me proof isn't everything. Getting into this, I kind of went down that rabbit hole of proof. I think it's a rabbit hole that a lot of people go down. And I think it's a great, fantastic rabbit hole. But, you know, up into buying this bottle, I was like all about chasing proof. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And this is the first one. Proof wasn't the forefront. It was, man, look at that age statement. I can afford this at the time. And then I bought it. And then I got home and I realized, man, your whiskey doesn't need to be insanely high proof to taste fantastic. And it also taught me kind of where my limits are for buying bourbon. Because I'll be honest, even though I think that's a fantastic bottle and all, I still think I would rather have an Elijah Craig over that most days of the week. And those are like a third the price, so you know, take it or leave it. But after that one, we are gonna kind of go into a different direction. So up until this point, things have been very chronological. Things have been chronological. We've been kind of going in order of my journey. From there, things kind of went haywire. After I learned that proof wasn't everything and I wasn't just chasing proof or age, I really started to expand. And from there, I don't know what came first, so on and so forth. So we're just going to kind of go with whatever on these last ones. And starting off with Doc Swinson's Alter Ego. My first finished bourbon that I really absolutely enjoyed. And this kind of sent me down that rabbit hole of getting into some finished stuff. And for me at the time, again, I was such a proof whore. I didn't really care for this that much because it's only a 95 proof bourbon. It's a 95 proof MGP, but the flavors that this brings with all those finishings, that cognac and sherry finishing, is absolute incredible, really well blended. And now they actually have the, you know, cask strength version. So I could have got everything I wanted at the time had they had that bottle, but absolutely really love that bottle. I think it's fantastic. One of the better finishings in general out there, in my opinion. I think Doc Swinson's does a killer job on that. And from there, I went down a bunch of different rabbit holes, found out I really like a lot of the barrel products. You know, I got a bunch of Storytime, Jepson picks that are finished and some other stuff, and you know, some Starlights, a lot of different finished stuffs. Like you guys heard me talk about how much I really like finishings, something I hunt down more than proof nowadays. And after that one that kind of changed a whole subsection or sub-tier of bourbon. Wheated Bourbons, Makers 46. This one, we'll call it a redeeming bourbon. And I know I found this based off of Alec. So one of my friends, we started the channel together. Now he kind of shows up from time to time. But at the time when we were filming, he really likes weeded products, and I really hated weeded products, and this was the first one he gave to me that really turned over the idea of weeded bourbons to me. I really like these Maker Mark wood finishing series. I don't know why it is. I think it's the French oak, toasted French oak, so on and so forth, that really changes it for me. Honestly, that one kind of taught me that, don't rely so heavy on stats. Like, stats isn't everything. Up until that point, I was like, I will not drink any weeded bourbons because I don't care for them. That one really turned around the concept of weeded bourbons for me. And that helped me realize that, like, maybe just because you don't like the stats doesn't mean you're not going to like the bottle, because there are outliers and so on and so forth. I found quite a few of those that I really like, and I've actually had a few other weeded bourbons. Weeded still isn't my go-to flavor profile. Don't really care much for Larceny. Don't really care too much for a lot of the Weller ones either, but that's a whole nother story. But that one really turned around the concept of weeded bourbons, and also just kind of relying so heavily on the stats of a bottle to figure out whether or not you're going to really enjoy it. Last but not least, the Texas bourbon. The Texas bourbon that really got me into Texas bourbon. The first really good Texas bourbon, Iron Root Harbinger. And at this point, you all know I love Texas. Texas has this weird funk to it. It's wild. It's unlike any other like bourbon subsection in the country. It's absolutely fantastic. Southwest aged finishing. Southwest, it's hot here. Our bourbon age is different. We get different oak impact because of that. So things age rapidly, things intensify at a faster rate, and we really draw certain aggressive flavors in the Southwest. This was the first Texas bourbon that I had that was absolutely fantastic. Has that like fruit leathery taste to it, and that really sent me down not only the Texas rabbit hole, but also my local craft scene, because from there I learned, I kind of like Southwest aged finishing stuff. Let's try out maybe some local stuff, because I'm in Arizona. Tried out some local stuff, really found that I liked those shared kind of like not ultra aged, but like fast, rapid aging style that we have here. And that really helped expand my bourbon journey. And now we are here today, and that's pretty much it. Haven't really learned anything crazy about any new bottles within the last few years. That being said, I'm always looking for something new. So after you like, comment, and subscribe, let me know down below if you have any bottles that you think I should try to kind of expand my horizons a little bit more. Let me know down below. Also, what are some of the bourbons that really changed your bourbon journey? And would you like to see me do this with my other whiskeys? Because I got some ryes. I mean, I can't really talk much about Scotch, but American single malt, man, could tell you all about stuff on there. Let me know down below. Also, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the Patreon. Again, links for all that stuff are down there below as well. That is a wrap for today's video. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you later.